Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Cambodia. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all 4 of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites from here in Cambodia. I'm going to show you Angkor Wat all the way to the newest one of Koh Ker. So let's take a look and let's see what we see. The moat itself is 5 kilometers around. Now it took about 20 to 30 years or so to build this temple. I think they used a total, like at one point had 300,000 laborers here with 6,000 elephants moving these 300,000 tons of sandstone into place. They quarried them. Some of them are like 1.5 tons, the stones. So they quarried them and they floated them down a river from the Kulin Mountains down here. But what a colossal undertaking. And this is just one of the temples in this area. This is the causeway that leads you across the moat. Now at one time it had these Naga and the lions on the perimeter of it. This was originally a Hindu temple, and then they converted it to Buddhism under Juriman VII. The reason why is because the Cham came and sacked the city, and then he thought that Hinduism failed, so he converted the kingdom into Buddhism. So we can take a look here. You can see the stone carvings around the door. And then over here, this is quite cool. They got the horses and the chariots, the Aspara dancers. And then we can see the lintel over the door. And these are what's exceptional here, is all of this. So they carved it, and you can see they polished it. And they put all the details into like the skirt. The detail work is just fantastic. And they carved all up there. King Juriman converted the kingdom into Buddhism, but after he died, King Juriman VIII converted back to Hinduism. And some of the temples you go to, you can see where the Buddha images are defaced. Yeah, there was a king between Juriman VII and Juriman VIII. So you can see this massive standing figure here. And you can see that the red up there, that's all the original. So you can see one of the figures right here. All the figures carved all the way up, all across that wall right there. Just absolutely amazing. And we'll walk along this elevated stone path to the second entrance right over there. And there's 2 little libraries, and then there's some ponds inside of here. This is the western entrance here. Everything in this temple is aligned towards the west. That's why the scholars believe it would have been like a mausoleum for Suraban II. And also the murals inside will be counterclockwise. You can see a little bit of the red paint that's still on the walls. You can see the construction with those little cross members. Yeah, they had these stone castles down to a science. This is down over here by this pond on the south side. You can see the reflection of the trees and that gate. We'll go through here, and this is the part where inside is where they'll have the 5 towers for Mount Meru. And the moat symbolizes like the Sea of Milk. There's all the Hindu mythology in this, since it was originally a Hindu temple. I think it was like 3 deities, Vishnu, Shiva, and another deity were the ones that were the main ones originally at this temple. So that leads into the courtyard. And then this is the gallery that goes around it. You can see they hauled all those stones in, set them in place up there. And then of course they came and they carved all the details into them. Now historians have really analyzed all of these stone sculptures. So this is one of the most amazing things you'll ever see. All around this wall right here are these bas-relief carvings. So there's various tales that are in them. Some of them are Hindu, some of them are scenes of the history of the Khmer. But these are all carved all around here, and it's just one continuous panel. Yeah, these murals are amazing. There's whole books written just on them. And you can see up here, you got the tiles and the roof, more stone carvings, figures everywhere. This is the inside. So we have the 4 towers that are in here, has the little buildings, and then we'll have the center tower up here. Okay, so we've worked our way around to the highlight of the whole place. Not that there's not like every place here is a highlight. So you have these smaller little libraries here, the same carvings, same stonework, and then they have the 4 prongs and then the center one. All right, so we'll climb up these steps here. They say to be respectful, and you're supposed to limit your visit to 15 minutes inside of here. All right, so let's go up these stairs. So this is what it looks like up here. You can see this is all still painted red also. So this is the top of the platform here. They have all these walkways, that center prong. So you can see one of the standing Buddha images in there. And then there's a reclining Buddha right in front. And they've made this little shrine here. And then you've got the figures next to it on each side. If you come in the evening, this is the best spot right here to see the sunset. Come here around 5:30 or so, and you won't be disappointed. That's the little courtyard we came in. So one last look here. We came outside. This alone is fantastic, and it's inside of a massive building, inside of a massive building, inside of a massive wall, surrounded by a moat. Just absolutely a must-see if you're into stuff like this. And even if you're not, this is overwhelming. This is a series of 5 little platforms, and you have to go through a gateway to get into each one of them. And it is built in different styles. It starts out in the 9th century, and then it was developed and expanded all through the Khmer reign. So you can see the stone carvings up there. This is a beautiful piece. It's got all the little deities, all the little floral patterns. It's got the Naga. It's got the lintel above the door. So what's different about this temple is it is orientated from the north to the south. But it is still a Khmer style with the Mount Meru and everything, the Sea of Milk. It has all the elements, but it's not like a rectangular base, you know, facing towards the east. It just has these different tiers. So this will be the next gateway. But right over here to the east is a cool little pond that they built up here on the hill. So there would have been like a little entrance over to here. We got one of the Khmer lions, and then they have this pond that's lined with the sandstone, and this would have been filled with water for some of their ceremonies. And then the stairs would have led right there down into it. This is the structure that's up here. So you can see they've reinforced the entrance, trying to keep it from collapsing down. Those carvings are pretty weathered, and there would have been a standing figure here and another one on this side. And you can see the shape of this was kind of shaped like a cross. So they got the arches supported here. Check out that lintel and all that pediment. Everything is carved. The Naga are so wore you can hardly make them out. Now this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but they haven't done a super amount of renovation here yet. From what I was reading, the Chinese are getting ready to come up here and do an extensive research to see what can be done to restore some of the ruins. So let's walk up the next little gateway. You can see those stone rails across the pediment and the pieces down here on the bottom. Yeah, quite nice. Oh, this is really, really fantastic here. So you can still see some of the red paint. So this was not whitewashed, it was painted red, is what I was reading. And you can still see a little bit of that in that lintel. So here we are at this next little gateway. And you can see they lined it with the stones over there. We got another massive staircase into one of the buildings. So up on this platform, we start with this little building right here, and then holy cow, this is just half of it, and the other side is exactly like this. This is just absolutely massive, and this is the other half. What an amazing structure. Now right here, this is one stone, and it's all carved, and that was sitting up there. When we come out on the south, there's like a library right here, and then some more of the little buildings would have been there. There's another little walkway. There was another library over here. Let's go up into this this next tier. Yeah, this is so cool. Definitely worth the effort to get up here to see. Yeah, there's some really interesting styling of the way they did this. They fit all these bricks in just perfect, and they carved everything. Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. And more of these little buildings. There's just so much here. So inside of there, it says, no hats, no talking, and no shoes. You can see the gallery over here is in good shape. Still has the covered tiles, but the center building is just absolutely collapsed down. Just a pile of rubble now. This is the gallery. You can see the arch up at the top. This has all been restored here, it looks like. That's what I really, really wanted to see, the view from up here on the top of this mountain. That's so hazy you can hardly see anything though. We got a good look at this one though. So you can see all the stone carvings. It's got that lynching that's kind of growing on it. Yeah, just so a guy sat here and worked on this with a hammer and chisel. You can see how they have everything terraced here. And we got some chickens running around over here. Yeah, what a colossal undertaking. And back down this walkway to that other gateway. Oh, this is such a cool site. Definitely worth $10 to get in here. That's what the cost is to this site. It's not covered as part of the Angkor Pass. It's a separate site altogether. This is the east entrance into these buildings. So we're back all the way over the north part of it. Now they're redoing these stairs right here. These stairs would have eventually just went over off to the north and into modern day Thailand. This is the first ruin we'll take a look at. So it's constructed out of brick. And it looks like they do have a little bit of sandstone that they used here for like the walls. And it looks like there's a few laterite stones and stuff like that in here also. See the trees growing on it. So they used the brick, they used the sandstone, And those bricks, they do deteriorate quite badly. Now this was a sect of Hinduism that was practiced here. And you can see one of the figures right there that would have been in the brick. And then there's another one over here. So they've restored the doorway. This sandstone has all been replaced. So we have a Shiva Linga in here. Oh, this was massive. Yeah, we can see all the styling on the outside. Yeah, this is 1,400 years old here. And it's just all these little temple complexes outside here in the jungle. Yeah, there's the bases of lots and lots of little buildings all around. Some of them are just rubble inside of the trees, and others they've kind of restored, like this right here. And this looks like the wall, one of the walls anyway. Another building here, several other small little towers all through here. This one here they're restoring. You can see they've came in here and supported up that doorway. Yeah, this is fantastic. You can see those right there in the brick. So those would have been the Hindu characters out here. Yeah, you can see these on this other side. So this was a sect of Hinduism that's I think the second largest sect today. It's like Shivism or something like that. So over here they had false doors, the faux doors. And you can see some more of the styling. This is the smaller little shrine here. So they use the sandstone, the laterite stones, and the bricks here. Okay, so that's most of this cluster in that we've seen. There's several other little buildings and stuff out in the trees. But I think we saw like the ones that they've restored the best. So we come through this little wall right here. It's the laterite stones. And this is a humongous complex. It's like 250 meters across here. There's not a whole lot left to what was here before. And this is on the west side, I guess, over here. So it does have the false doors on the 3 cardinal directions. It's only open on the east. So I walked down the bicycle path about 600 meters or so. I got rewarded with this. How cool is this? This looks like another one of those little buildings with the womb of the deity. And check out this. Let's look at this brickwork right here. So you can see it. So this is 1,400 years old here. Ah, this is fantastic. So over here, this is Prasat Pa Pieng or something like that. It's Tower Y. You can see it's just has the debris around it, but they're trying to keep it from completely collapsing. I don't know if they're going to cut that tree down or what, but it's intertwined into it. But just like a little cavity with the tree growing. Look at the doorway. It's quite a bit different than what you see. It looks like it goes up straight into a V. It's not the more formed like lotus bud doorway. And then inside, it's just dirt inside. But you can see where they've built the little shrine and stuff here. I can smell the incense. This one is closed at the top. Oh, this is just gigantic. Oh, this is really cool. So this is a Koh Ker. That's what they call the gates. You can see the little carvings over there. Oh, that's quite cool. So this is quite a bit different than what you'd have seen in the Bayonne. They would have been like T-shaped, and there would have been like little antechambers on the side. They would have had deities and stuff like that in there. And there's supposed to be like some bowls from the Hindu faith. That might be what this is here. It's kind of tough to tell. And these would have been all around the outer wall here. So let's go inside here. And there's actually more in English at this site than any of the others. I think you're probably, like right now, it's probably like a year, 2 years maybe away from this being really fantastic. Looks like from the amount of work they're doing. So here we go. Here's some more of the carvings. So it says here, these are the medallions on the western wall here. They've found these nowhere else in Southeast Asia, just at this site. And it goes the whole length of this wall. And they're deteriorating pretty badly. But they took a special skill to put these in here. You can see the carvings up above also. So some of them are unfinished, some of them have the Hindu deities, and some of them are just scenes of the daily life here. So it looks like the same configuration, 4 towers around, and then the center prong right here. So these would have been on the cardinal directions. And then the center one looks like it has the faux entrances also. So you can see the level of restoration that they're doing. Most of them are blocked off to where you can't go inside, like this one right here. But you can still see the stonework that they did on the outside. So this is the highlight of this southern section. This tower is 25 meters tall. It's Prasat Ye Pon. They found Yala, the god of time. They found Shiva, a couple other deities here on this site. So it's been restored a great deal. So you can see the stone carvings in here. Really, really nice. And just a massive tower. See the different courses of bricks that they laid? So the top is missing. But what a massive structure, 25 meters tall. Now this is deep in the park. You come in and there's like a road that does kind of a circle, and there's a bunch of small little temples. This is the main one. This was the kind of the heart of the old capital. And we'll walk through here. There's several buildings made out of brick and sandstone and all of that. What a great area. It's just kind of out here in the jungle. There's still a lot of the locals that farm in this area. You go through here, you see rice paddies and stuff inside of the little park. Getting in here is $15, so you got to pay when you first come in. And then it's about an hour and a half or so away from Siem Reap. It's an easy half-day trip up here, and you can combine it with some other things if you're wanting to come over here. Koh Ker was designed to be built on a grand scale. So the Khmer architecture that you see here was bigger and better than anything that they'd done up to this point. It was a nice stepping stone, and then it later led into, you know, eventually the Angkor styling. But how great is this though? So this is still a lot of rubble and stuff like that, but you can see the stone carvings. You can see the towers. And then we have some monks here. We have this really, really amazing brick prong right here. You see the size of the columns around the door. They have the Khmer lions. They have the sandstone steps. And then they did all the courses of brick up. And you can see what's left of that lintel. It's got a huge chunk missing out of the middle. I'm not sure if that was like the churning of milk or which scene that is. And we got some bees right above the door. And I think there was a Shiva Linga in here. This was a Shiva temple. And you could see they carved around that pedestal right there. Also, you can see the figure right there. And then kind of cool, they did the brick right above the door. Yeah, this is the perimeter wall here. You can see the laterite stones, and then they carved the top into that triangle. And then they have a lintel just sitting right here, and it's a massive stone. I don't know where it's going to go, if it's going to go right here eventually, if that's where it was. So this is from 921, just a few days ago. You see the stone carvings that are left. They're pretty weathered. This tree has found its way in here. Just really, really amazing. And this would have been the moat. And then we got an inner wall coming up here. Go inside. And so we have the figures carved in along with all the floral designs. This lintel here is cracked. You can still see a little bit of the figures in it. And then pretty much everything over here is missing. There would have been another figure balanced out on that side. But you can still see the styling that they did with the faux doors. And they put the sandstone steps and everything. And these are all the original stones, the original bricks. You can see how they cut it into like an octagon there. So they use brick for all of that on that side instead of sandstone. And you got another little pediment for the image. Yeah, what a nice little area here. Now we're almost to the whole reason to come here. This is the best part of this temple. I mean, it's all really quite cool, but the pyramid is the reason you come here. You got this open courtyard, and check this out right here. So we're gonna go up to the top. So I have this path right here, and this would have led you right up to those stairs on this humongous pyramid. There's a walkway that's on the back side, and then up at the top is a 4.5 meter tall Shiva Linga. So they have it made out of sandstone on the outside. And then up there at the top, have a little platform. Just how cool is this though? Really amazing. And this is from the early 10th century. 921 is when they built this. So the first tier, you can see all the sandstones that are carved. So I'm about right here. That's the height of my head. And we're gonna go all the way up. This is just insane how big these buildings are. Okay, so we climbed from all the way down there up to here, and this is what we get to see. So there's two Garuda here, and then you have the stone carvings up there. So these are their hands. Looks like there might have been another one here that he's sitting on. And this would have been the 4.5 meter tall Shiva Linga. And then it had this little place that it would have been sitting inside of. So this is what it looks like from at the very, very top. So what a massive structure this was. And it had all the Naga around, like right there's the Naga, and then it would have the Garuda. And this would have been maybe like a little walkway. It's hard to see what it looked like originally. But this is the whole view from right up here. So that's the way we came in. You can't even see all those buildings because of the trees. And then this is the perimeter wall. So this would have been a city. So there would have been houses and everything down there. And then over there would have been the royal palace in that direction. So you can see the size of this. So this is the first and the second tier. So one last look here at this fantastic temple. So all the buildings led to this. And this would have been the most sacred site with that humongous Shiva Linga. So that's the 4 of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And there's 7 more that are on the tentative list. And I've been to a couple of them. The other ones I will have to make another trip over here. There's so much to see. We started here and we saw from the 6th century up to, you know, the Angkor Wat, which was what, mid 12th century. It's just absolutely fantastic. There's so much to see, and you won't be disappointed. Angkor Wat's the most recognized, everybody knows that, but some of these other sites have a lot to offer. Preah Vihear is just so cool up on the hill, and just so much history and so much to see. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. Tell me which one your favorite was down in a comment below. Or if you've been to all 4 of them, let me know that also. And if you have any questions or comments, ask me down below and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you know more than I do, then tell me also. And until next time, from over here in Cambodia, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.